I'm trying this again. I tried to do the live video, but there's some sort of a cell service issue today. Solar flares? I don't know. But don't pretend you know either, unless you work for T-Mobile. This is part of the unlimited data plan, so perhaps we're running into issues with the data. But we shouldn't. Although, knowing certain members of my family who love data, maybe the data. That would be unfortunate, because certainly I wouldn't want to rob you of the opportunity to see me suffering in a car. So I'm here again. Hello, my name is Lou. I'm sitting in the car. It's alternate side parking day. I didn't have to move it again in the morning. We lucked out once again and got a Wednesday spot. Cuck Wednesdays. Parked there for today in the morning. Slide into Alpha Tuesday spot. So now, done moving the car. And there was no rush to get home this week. I made it plenty of time. No sweating. It's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood. I'll put down this armrest. Yeah. So what's been going on, folks? Peoples? Friends? This weekend was the Atlantic Antic, which is my favorite street festival in New York because it's really long and kind of unruly. Oftentimes there are bands playing. There used to be a rock club called Magnetic Fields that was down here, and they used to have live bands and all kinds of stuff. I think that the Plimsolls play there once, of the Million Miles Away fame. But it might have been the Hextones. One of those, a soul or a tone, not really sure. But it's a great street fair. It's not, as I say, my standard catchphrase or description of this street fair is that it's not bonsai trees, socks, pillows, and Guatemalan knit stuff for sale, which is like the majority of all the other New York street fairs. So you can get a mazzarepa, which is a flavorless thing as far as I'm concerned, at any street fair, and you can get them here. You can get you get your cannoli, stromboli, Italian sausages at the corners, but like in the middle of the streets, the bars open up, they put out tables, they sell beer on the street. This year they were actually really good about not letting people walk around with beer, which I find to be a huge drag. I've never seen anyone act out of place or, unruly previously at previous Atlantic Antics. I mean, people get drunk, but I've never seen it be an issue. We know it only takes one time. Some dummy to get drunk and puke or sort of fight, but to ruin it for everybody. But I had not seen that. Hi, Anne. How are you? I'm in the car, as you could probably guess. So anyway, the street fair was nice. Unfortunately, my youngest son hates the street fair for some reason and got mad because he didn't like any of the garbage that there was to buy there. So he was pouting about that and decided to ruin it for everybody. But I enjoyed the walk anyway. It was a nice long walk up and down Atlantic Avenue, see all the stuff, see the different neighborhoods, and it's a super long street fair. Who doesn't love that kind of thing? Unfortunately, I didn't get a beer or food, but partially my own fault for becoming a disgruntled adult. That's basically a good description of me in general. Disgruntled adult. But, yeah. So that was all right. Not a whole lot else going on. Just sitting in the car, watching motorcycles go by. Or scooters, if you want to be specific about the whole thing. But, yeah, things are okay. I'm finishing a garbagey fantasy book. I don't know if you're a fan of Jim Butcher. He wrote the Harry Dresden Wizard in Modern Chicago books, kind of wizard noir, which I found entertaining. And I read all of them in a very short amount of time. They're like 15 books, 16 books. I think we're waiting for the next one. Who knows how long it will be. So I picked up another series that this guy wrote called the Codex Alera, which is more fantasy. I can read fantasy. It doesn't have to be like the guy from Party Down who's like, that's fantasy. I'm hard sci-fi. No fantasy. That was a good episode. The episode where he is working, the Party Down crew is working at the adult film awards. And it turns out that the head of the Party Down team has a gigantic wiener. Oh, I think my son is coming down the street. He is coming down the street. Hello. Hi, Ace. Don't get hit by a car, please. Hi. You don't. That's where dogs go to the bathroom. I'm recording right now. Say hello to my friends.
Hi.
Hello.
Are you on like an Instagram?
I'm on Facebook Live.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm glad you think it's cool. Do you want to sit with me in here and talk? No one can see you do that. No one can see you do that trick.
I know, it's caveman, Dad.
Oh. Don't brush out your teeth like I did when I was doing skateboard tricks. Oh, don't get hit by a car either. But, so, just a daily New York street life. Watch, here.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. No?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, good. Nice ollie. Bye, I guess.
Bye.
Okay. See you later.
Hi.
Hello, goodbye.
Bye. Wait, what?
She'll be home late-ish, so do your homework. Yeah. What are you supposed to do? These modern times, modern children going around. I read a story that said that modern children are less prepared to be adults than we were because we mollycoddle them so much. What with our dumb TV shows that are educational and oh, here he is again.
Okay.
What's up?
There was a crazy guy running around in the tracks.
Oh, on the train?
The cops got called, and it was like we were coming out of the F Street station. Like ran out of the station, and supposedly the guy went deeper down into the subway tracks, like towards Manhattan. It was really scary.
So there's a guy on the train tracks?
Yeah, running around like crazy, like back and forth.
Did he say anything?
No,
we
weren't there.
Were you in the station, or is this
we
what
were
you
in
heard?
like the beginning of the station, and people started running out of the station, and then they shut down the F train.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's a bummer. Don't get hit by a car.
No. 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 Bye.
Well, what do you know? That was weird. I picked up the phone for a second and the screen went black. I don't know why.
Wait, Dad.
Oh, it's
Dad.
endless. What do you want?
On Steam, there's a game called Depth, and it was free 2 days ago, and I downloaded it. You have to enter your PIN to download it.
Okay.
Okay, cool, bye.
Bye. Video game chat.
Wait,
What are you
I can't
gonna
go
do?
upstairs, I don't have the keys.
Why don't you have your keys?
I forgot them.
Oh.
Is anybody upstairs?
I don't know.
I'll just stay down here.
Ring the buzzer. Is it just me? It is just me today. No one is tuning in. I don't know what happened. Maybe I'll invite people. Invite my friends to watch me chat. James. Which James? Let's see. I'll invite people to check out my stuff. Invite friends. Who can I invite? Oh my goodness. Tappity tap tap. Anyway, so more car jibber jabber. Got about 15 minutes left in the car. I think it looks like Ace made it back into the apartment, which is always remarkable because he forgets his keys frequently. Please do not take advantage of this knowledge. But yeah, he forgets his keys. And what are you gonna do? You know? He usually just waits until someone lets him in to the building. Seems like what a way to live. Am I right? But I'm trying to think of what else is going on. Baseball season's almost over. MLB. Red Sox looking good. Unfortunately, they seem to only be able to win if they are losing by a great deal and then come back and win. And I mean, how many extra inning games have they had to win? I think they're going to probably get crushed by the Indians, but it's hard to say because you never know. But the Indians look pretty good this year, and I think they had a record 21 wins or something stupid like that in a row. 21, 22. It's a lot of wins for baseball.
Hey, Dad.
Yes?
You know where the skateboarding tool is?
No, I don't know where the skateboarding tool is.
Darn it.
Please don't snoop around in my room. Thank you.
I'm just talking to you.
Oh, okay.
There's an air conditioner in it.
Okay. I don't. What? Why would I have the skateboarding tool? It's just how it goes. You know what with the people. Yeah, I've had that We the People song by Tribe Called Quest stuck in my head. But just the part about the ramen noodle. It's because it's a funny lyric. And I appreciate it for its cleverness. But then again, I think that the abstract Q-Tip was my favorite of the Tribe Called Questers, I suppose. If you want to use that term, I'm comfortable using it. I hope you are too. It's not racist to say that. That's what they call themselves. The Tribe Called Quest. Yeah, so sitting in the car. Hello to Frank. I invited you directly to come sit with me in the car, virtually, so you could feel the pain. I came to bring the pain, hardcore, from my Subaru. I'm sure Method Man would be proud to know that I use his rap lyrics as a segue to talk about my car. Yeah, let's talk about rap for a second, if you don't mind. What would be your favorite rap group? Or what's really the high watermark for rap? I mean, you know, all cultural movements have a high watermark, and then it recedes into garbage. That's what I consider to be the state of hip-hop today, is mostly straight garbage. You've got your, for me, and I've said it before, the Wu-Tang Clan is the high watermark for hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? So it's Wu-Tang, and then, you know, after Wu-Tang, there was some goodness in the rap game. And then, you know, some of the Wu-Tang solo albums were kind of shitty. The first few, Raekwon the Chef, Liquid Swords, pretty good. But, and some definite classics on there. Nas, Illmatic. That era of rap is sort of like the high watermark. And then what we have today is like the worst. Like unbelievably bad, shitty rap. Not to say that there's not an occasional gem, but it's not really. There's something so terrible about it that it is frustrating to have to listen to it all the time. And because I have a 14-year-old child, I do have to listen to seriously terrible rap on a regular basis. So it's disappointing that I'm constantly being exposed to people like Lil Yachty is a focused rapper that I despise. Then you have Run the Jewels, right? So Run the Jewels are great, but they're sort of in an older school flow of rap versus the terrible sort of weird slowcore and other terrible genres of rap that there are today. And I've gotten into discussions with my cousin Dan, who is a, no doubt about it, hip-hop historian. We both were heavily into hip-hop in the mid to late 80s, and with the rise of hip-hop, I'm not laying claim to being a pioneer, but, let's just say I bought my first Run DMC cassette tape the week it came out in 1984 or 3, something stupid like that. But yeah, so whenever I have to listen to contemporary rap, which I would never pick of my own, I'm constantly like, good Lord, this is fucking awful. Because it is. So, hello to everyone who's joined. Billy and Luis and Adam and all the rest. If you're still watching. It's, yeah, so, and the thing is I do expose myself to contemporary rap, hoping I'll hear something good. But I never do. Never. Unless it's something I find hilariously bad that I have to share around, like that guy who had the Piss in the Sheets song. You smell like piss in the sheets, plus you got shit in your teeth. I mean, a better rap lyric has rarely done that. Billy Heenan just parked his car. Did you park somewhere, not on Pineapple Street, or did you park on another street? I find Willow to be a good place if you need a late parking spot, but 5:47, that's pretty late for moving your car and finding a successful parking spot, I'll tell you that much. But good on you, Billy. I'm glad that you were able to find good parking. I would have preferred if you had driven by to say hello while we were both, but I would have been parked and you would have been looking and it would have been stressful for you. I understand. I hope that one day Billy and I will be able to go to see a podcast show together. I went to go see Judge John Hodgman, and I was thinking like, oh, I should have asked if Billy wanted to go because I had an extra ticket. But hindsight is 20/20. And I had also just seen My Brother and Me at the King Theater, which was a lot of fun, except for the opening podcast, which I found to be not very interesting at all. But it was not a podcast that I'm a fan of or the target audience of, so I don't blame them for not being my favorite. What did I? Oh, and then I went to go see a. So Billy is saying he found a parking spot too quickly. That is understandable. When you see a spot, you grab it. Otherwise, you will be lost to eternity. Yeah, the retroactive invite to Judge John Hodgman, you got it. I should have thought of that earlier, but sadly I did not. Well, I went to go see The Cribs and Pause at the Music Hall of Williamsburg over the weekend. It was or last Thursday, and it was sort of a last-minute decision. But I highly recommend, if you see those two bands are playing together, to go see them, because it is a good rock show. 2 3-piece bands that are really good. Sort of like, not punk, but like just good rock and roll. And I learned about Cribs, I forget where I learned about them, but I really like them. And then Pause, I learned about through playing Rocksmith 2014. In fact, I can play 3/5 of a Pause song on the guitar with mediocre ability. So, if you ever want to hear me torture a song, I'll be happy to make mistakes through it and apologize and stammer my way through the whole song. Except for the part at the end where, like, the solo, I can't do it all. It's too complicated. It's like, my fingers and brain refuse to work in that way. But I need to play that game more often, although it makes my arthritis, which, it's just uncomfortable. Maybe I'm holding the guitar wrong. I'll hold it like this, right? You jing, 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 and then you do the chords with this hand and slap and slap and slap. Yeah, like Flea. Play the guitar like a bass, but upside down, like Jimi Hendrix, or backwards. He did it the strings the wrong way, right? Is that? So yeah, it's me in the car. I need to work on my next episode of my podcast. This latest one, which was all about people asking the internet if what they're into is normal, was an interesting thing, an interesting episode. It's funny, when a lot of sites will all be like, this website, people are asking if this stuff is normal, and someone will be like, oh, that site, it's mostly trolls now. But even that, some of the answers are trollish, or some of the questions are trollish, but I still found it entertaining to read. But, obviously some of the answers were super ridiculous, which is entertaining. And then there's some people who, like, use those kind of sites to write weird incest erotica and be like, this is what's happening to me. Is this normal? I'm sleeping with my mom. There's always some people who are like, yep, it's normal. I disagree, but maybe their moms are just looser than mine. I'm just saying. I mean, I never went for it, but it's a horrifying thought. Look at that. Infiniti just drove by. Very fancy. Now, some people, when they get in their cars for alternate side parking on a day like today, where it's sort of mild outside, they'll park and then they just stand outside your car. There's no rule saying I have to sit in the car. But then you're like standing outside the car and it's boring. It's also boring. And you can't hear the radio, or you can't do nothing besides stand. And not surprisingly, you don't meet other people when you're doing alternate side parking. Like, at one point I thought about writing like a screenplay about people who meet and fall in love doing alternate side parking, or two people who develop an insane parking rivalry because of alternate side parking. But the reality is, you never meet these people. You're all in the same boat. You don't want to meet anybody. You're afraid you're going to get a ticket. And you're also, if you're like me, constantly scorning everybody else who either parked before you to steal the spots, or parked selfishly, or parked weirdly close to you for no reason. There are so many triggers around parking. But, you learn to get over them, I guess. I think I was reminded recently by Facebook that I shared my first photo of me being in the car miserable like 3 or 4 years ago. That is a drag. But such is life in the car world of New York City. You know, other people, they have garages and stuff. It's a huge waste of space. Who needs that? I mean, I guess I wish I had the space that I could not use for a garage, but you know, where would I move? Out of the city and leave all this? Are you crazy? What a dummy you are for suggesting that. And I'm furious at you now. I have chosen to lead this weird lifestyle, no matter how expensive it is for me to do so. So, if you excuse me, I need to go cash my welfare check and use all my WIC stamps. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Ugh, this PC world. Look at this jerk. Walking down the street like it's a sidewalk. What an asshole. If this car wasn't parked, I'd run him over. Oh, look at this delivery guy delivering food, making tips and shit. Now I've got the New York attitude back. Thank you, world. Fuck this car. What a jerk. Anyway, it's officially time to get out of the car, so I'm gonna do so. It's been delovely and delightful to be here with you today. And yes, Billy, it's part of the New York dream is a full-time parking spot. It's funny when you go to like places out in Bay Ridge, where people, even Carroll Gardens or Cobble Hill, where people have the time and temerity to put, you know, cones down or a chair in their parking spot, and if you move that chair, some crazy person's gonna come out of their house and be like, "Don't move that fucking chair! That's my fucking spot!" Hey! I'm making an ethnic inference to the ethnicity of these people. Hey! Eat a spaghetti in my parking spot! Of course, I'm talking about Albanians. Anyway, the time is done here in the car. So I'm going to take my fantasy book. Oh, look at that. Oh, guy got a sword on the cover. Pretty cool, huh? I think so. Thumbs up on that one, Lou. Put my hat on, grab my bag, and go home and yell at my children. Because I'm sure they are disappointing me, even right now. Living the dream! Okay, everybody. That's it for me. I'll see you later. Next week when I have to move the car again. Or in person, if I see you often. Or not, if I don't. Different delivery guy. Tell by the best. Okay, see you guys later. Bye-bye.